When it comes to Matrix 5, there are tons of unanswered questions, like whether it needs to shake up the franchise's canon for a fresh start, or if it could be a prequel about the first one. Plus, there are some characters from The Matrix who could totally have their own spin-offs and give the franchise a boost. Let's dive into everything we know about the upcoming Matrix 5. The Matrix 5 is officially in the works, and it's taking the franchise in a fresh direction after The Matrix Resurrections. When The Matrix dropped in 1999, it perfectly captured the pre-millennium anxieties envisioned by the Wachowski sisters and made a lasting impact on sci-fi and action genres. Its characters, quotes, and concepts have become iconic, even though the 2003 sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, didn't quite hit the same mark. The original trilogy remains a standout in film history. Despite ongoing speculation about a continuation or reboot, the Wachowskis were adamant about not making a fourth film. However, the inevitable announcement for The Matrix Resurrections came in 2019. When it premiered in 2021, it didn't live up to expectations and flopped financially. Though it didn't end on a cliffhanger, its conclusion left things open, and the franchise's enduring popularity led Warner Bros. To greenlight The Matrix 5. After nearly 3 years, Warner Bros. Finally confirmed the sequel in April 2024. It's not surprising, given the franchise's potential and the numerous inside jokes in The Matrix Resurrections about Warner's ambitions for the series. The only detail so far is that Drew Goddard will direct, marking the first time the Wachowskis won't be leading the project. The Matrix Resurrections wrap up with Neo and Trinity defeating Neil Patrick Harris's Analyst, but it leaves several storylines open. Neo and Trinity plan to transform the Matrix into a better place, which could set up future plotlines. The Analyst is shown to be under the command of a higher machine power called the Suits, and there's a hint that some human blue pills might be working with the enemy, potentially introducing a new antagonist for The Matrix 5. However, the most intriguing continuation might involve Jonathan Groff's Agent Smith. After collaborating with Neo and Trinity to take down the Analyst, Smith announces their partnership is over and disappears into the night. A rogue Smith doesn't bode well for a peaceful Matrix, and his next moves could be a central element in the story for The Matrix 5. On the flip side, The Matrix 5 might actually be a prequel about the origins of the Matrix. While many expect the film to continue from where the previous movies left off, especially after the cliffhanger in Resurrections, there's another exciting possibility. The new film could dive into the past and explore the creation of the Matrix itself. The backstory of the Matrix is one of the most intriguing parts of the franchise. We've heard hints about the machine war and learned from the architect that Neo isn't the first one. While Neo and Trinity have been the main focus of the earlier films, exploring the Matrix's origins could be just as groundbreaking and offer a fresh start for the series. Imagine a prequel where we see the first one choosing 7 men and 16 women to help re-establish Zion. This could add a whole new layer to the saga, making past heroes' actions seem even more significant and giving the franchise a darker edge that's been missing since the original. It might be a bold move, but it could be exactly what the Matrix needs to break free from its past and forge a new path. Moreover, a Matrix prequel could sidestep the confusing plot issues introduced in The Matrix Resurrections. While the film took bold steps by reworking Neo and Trinity's relationship and altering significant elements of the Matrix lore, it also created major inconsistencies with previous films. The Resurrections introduced controversial changes like modifying the nature of characters like Smith and the new Morpheus, depicting a machine civil war, and even destroying Zion, which had been saved in The Matrix Revolutions. These changes have made it difficult to navigate a coherent continuation of the story and created uncertainty about whether to align with the new direction or revert to the original lore. A prequel, however, would completely avoid these issues. By exploring the origins of the Matrix, the film could start fresh without the baggage of recent retcons. It could adhere to the established details from the architect and Morpheus while providing an exciting new narrative. This approach would help streamline the story and offer a clean slate, avoiding the complications of the franchise's convoluted history. Given the poor reception and financial failure of Resurrections, which earned only $159.2 million against a $190 million budget, a reboot is exactly what the franchise needs. With audiences showing little interest in continuing Neo and Trinity's story, a prequel would be a smart way to revitalize the series. It would allow for a fresh take and potentially re-engage fans by delving into the fascinating backstory of The Matrix. Exploring the story of the first Matrix could not only revitalize interest in the franchise, but also enrich the original trilogy. By diving into how humans first dealt with the Matrix's constraints, a prequel could offer a fresh and thrilling perspective. It would also allow for intriguing parallels between the first one and Neo, highlighting how their choices and experiences shaped the broader narrative. This prequel could add a tragic dimension to the story, showing how even a powerful hero can struggle against an oppressive regime, setting the stage for future triumphs by later generations. Much like how the Star Wars prequels, despite their flaws, added depth to the original trilogy, a Matrix prequel could explore the foundations and structure of Zion, something the original films only hinted at. While there are challenges in crafting a prequel, it offers an exciting opportunity to expand and deepen the Matrix universe as The Matrix 5 looks to the future. Ultimately, the best approach for The Matrix 5 might be to embrace the fact that breaking from canon is inevitable. If the writers focus too much on avoiding plot holes and sticking rigidly to past films, it could hurt the story's overall quality. While Resurrections was a mixed bag for fans, it excelled at prioritizing the story over strict adherence to established lore. This bold approach is what made it stand out, even if it ruffled some feathers. For Matrix 5 to succeed, it might need to follow a similar path. It shouldn't feel pressured to please everyone or stick to the new rules that upset fans. Instead, it should carve out its own direction and explore new possibilities, using the lessons from Resurrections to create something fresh and exciting. At this point, sticking closely to the established world of The Matrix in future movies is nearly impossible. Over 4 films and multiple spin-offs like Animatrix, the Matrix universe has become incredibly complex and sometimes confusing. The Wachowskis' original 1999 film created a richly detailed world, but subsequent projects have introduced changes and adjustments that have made the canon increasingly unreliable. Even the best films in the series struggle to keep up with these evolving rules. Despite the idea that The Matrix Resurrections could be the final film, a 5th installment is now in the works with Drew Goddard directing. While this is exciting news after Resurrections' mixed reviews, there are concerns that the new film may not fit neatly into the established canon. If The Matrix 5 reintroduces characters from earlier movies instead of rebooting the franchise, it will face significant challenges in maintaining consistency. Simply put, the canon of The Matrix is too restrictive for many sequels and spin-offs. The original film's world-building was praised for revealing just enough to make its narrative work while avoiding plot holes. However, the immediate sequels expanded the universe in ways that created inconsistencies. Resurrections further complicated things by radically altering the original trilogy's ending and retracting much of its subtext. Given these changes, it's likely that The Matrix 5 will need to accept that breaking canon is unavoidable. Focusing too much on avoiding plot holes and sticking to previous films could hinder the story. Resurrections prioritized its own narrative over sticking to established rules, which was divisive but bold. The Matrix 5 should embrace this approach, understanding that it might not please everyone, but can carve out its own path and explore new directions. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. What are your thoughts on how The Matrix 5 should handle its connection to the previous films? Or do you think a prequel is the way to go? Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.